Last week was a warm-up round, but now it's time for round one of the main event. So let's get into it.
Here we are in my hometown. Let's see if Houston's final singles are truly ready to love.
So this season, the show is set in Houston, and just like when it was set in Atlanta, seasons 1 and 2 is basically gonna go through their homes, their lives, etc. Not like how it was the previous season where they were set on a resort. I personally like that because if you're dating, it's real life. It's not a resort. It's the real deal. So I like that they're going back to the original format. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this season develops.
I come from the old school. You know, I know that women look at me and they say, oh, you a man's man. You know, if we was playing spades, I'm gonna hit you with the joker. Pow! You know, I'm taking hands.
Y'all, just from everything I'm seeing so far, it's gonna be a long season.
In the beginning, it's all about the physical. You know, I don't care what nobody says. You know, the first person that tells you that, you know, it's all about the personality, that's because they ugly as hell.
No lies detected there. What my man said was the truth. In the beginning, and this is especially of men, but y'all women too, everyone has their preference, and it starts with the physical. Now, when you have options, what that means is you can start eliminating people like, okay, I don't like her for this, or I don't like him for that. And you start with the physical. I don't like him or her for how they're shaped. Whether you like it or not, we are attracted to the physical. It's the first thing that you see, and us men in particular, we are physical creatures, meaning we like the physical. We see the physical, and then we dig in from there. I hate to say it, my boy's right.
Hi, my name is Stacy. Wait, y'all like that voice? That's a cute one, huh?
Yep. Shit, it's gonna be a long season for real, dear God.
I was in a relationship for 17 years, so I don't know how to date. But in my previous life, I swear I was a player. So I don't think it'll be too hard dating multiple men at one time.
You actually have to have that mentality if you want to go on this show. It sounds callous, it sounds, you know, just cutthroat, but yeah, you do have to go into this particular show with its format being able to date multiple people. Now, I'm not sure about the part about being a player and all that. That may be pushing it a bit much, but in reality, if you want to make different connections, that means you're connecting with different people, which means that you're dating different people. So you have to be able to compartmentalize and say, okay, I'm dating this person, I'm dating that person, I'm dating this person, and then you start, you know, narrowing down the field from there.
When I am in a relationship, we travel pretty extensively. Women love to travel, and this is spending time together on a romantic island with me. You know, be rocking around in bikinis, and be slapping that ass, and we're gonna be on the beach having a good time.
No matter what it is in life, we all lead with our thing. Everyone has, if you have money, if you have the physique, if you have a stature in your job or position, you know, title, whatever the case, that's what you lead with. I'm not sure what Troy has going on, but it seems like every woman that he comes across is travel. Hey, you travel, you're gonna travel, let's go travel. So I don't know.
You got kids?
No, I actually don't have kids.
You want kids?
I do. What you shut down? Ain't no more. Ain't no more.
The kitchen was closed.
The kitchen was. I like how you said was.
So with Vernisha, kids are her thing. She has 3 kids, and I think she said one is the oldest is 19. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Y'all let me know. However, I know that, you know, she's an attractive woman, obviously. We see that. So if we know that, or we can see that she has children, so that's something that she's dealt with in her dating life. So if you notice, all of the men that come in contact with her, whatever the case may be, she asks them the same thing. How many kids do you have? I have 3 kids. So that is her thing. That's what she leads with, and that's pretty much going to direct how she goes about dating or interacting with the men on the show. And I think it's going to be especially difficult for the guys on the show who don't have children, because, you know, obviously that's going to be a source of contention as later on down the line. So if you notice, she's always talking about her kids. I have 3 kids, and I get it. She said they are an important part of her life. However, it's going to be very difficult, I believe, for her to make a true connection going on the show. Hopefully she's able to, but I just don't see it happening.
You gonna sing with me?
I join in.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
okay. God has smiled on me. Yeah. He's been good.
He's been good to me.
At that point, I started looking at Liz different.
When you're dating, right, and you're in a situation where there's a party, or like in this case, there's a mixer, and you know that someone's attractive and you see that y'all have something in common, boy, you better dig in. I like what my man David did right there. He got her to singing, got her, singing, which showed that there's a sign of comfort between them. I like that. I really do. I like that right there.
We grew up with choirs.
Choirs. John P. Key, come on.
Yeah, his
come
choir.
on.
And I love the fact that we both got spiritual foundation. So now I'm like, wow, what's going to happen after this? Because now I want to get to know Liz better. Hezekiah Walker, his
Commission?
choir. Come on.
Come on.
Come on. Come on, Commission.
When you're dating, or better yet, when you're starting out with dating, you just met somebody, whatever. All right, one of the best things you can do for a first date or something like that is to bring them into your world. In other words, you bring them on something that you enjoy doing. We literally just saw that with David and Liz. It's gonna take a minute for me to learn their names, but we just saw that with David and Liz, where David was into gospel music and so forth. So he got her into his world, and they started singing. The good thing is that they both were interested in the same things, meaning gospel choirs and things like that. So because of that, they had a shared interest. He was definitely interested in it. Him being I think he said he does weddings. All right, so that was a cool thing right there. He's like, yo, okay, I know you're interested, and they were able to have that conversation, build that rapport, and therefore maybe, who knows, something can develop from there.
A 41-year-old man, and I am a teacher of math and science. I have gotten into relationships that have sometimes been toxic, a bit of hot to crazy ratio, if you will. You know why we like Mean Girls. How about that?
What the hell is this dude talking about? Mean Girls? If somebody can break that and explain that, because he says it several times throughout this episode, and I am so confused. Y'all, it's going to be a long season if this is what somebody can explain that Mean Girls thing or whatever the hell, let me know. Please let me know.
Hello, sister. How you doing? Hey, you beautiful. How you doing there? Deidre.
I am the woman, and I am to be pursued. Now, will I show you interest and that I do like you and I'm into you? Hey, yes. But that whole Houston, players get chose, men get chose, does not work for this girl.
She may be one of the youngest women out there so far, but what she just said made a hell of a lot of sense. And she's dropping some serious knowledge, y'all. Women do not pursue men. To be clear, women aren't supposed to pursue men. Men are supposed to pursue the women. Men hunt. And when you start flipping nature on its head, where the women start hunting and they start choosing the dudes, and it's even for a man to allow himself to be chosen, man, ain't nothing good is going to come from that. Nothing good comes when you flip nature upside down. Things happen for a reason. Things are supposed to go a certain way. I get it. There's always exceptions to the rule, but 9 times out of 10, if things go in order, they're going to go in order. And if you try to circumvent that in any way, usually it's going to end in disaster. Speaking of men hunting, did you notice how Diedrich, as soon as old girl walked, what's her name, Kira, I think it is, as soon as she walked in, he was the first one that stepped up to her, like, hey, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. This dude's on a mission, all right? And it shows. He was the first one to approach her. He's hunting. So he knows that before all the other dudes see her, because she's an attractive woman and she came ready to play, right? That dress wasn't no joke. She was there, all right? So he stepped to her first, basically say, hey, what's happening? Trying to, shoot the first shot before all the other dudes, all the other men who are hunting come through and be like, hey, what's going on? Smart play on his part.
Kyra? Jason.
Jason,
Nice meeting you. How you doing today?
Love your makeup.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I did not mean to interrupt your story. No,
you
let me just go chat with them. So.
Well, since you did, I'm going to pull you away here. Come on.
Okay, all right.
Speaking of hunting, you see what my man Jason did right there, right? Now, if you ever watch Wild Kingdom or any of them nature shows, one thing that you notice, and it really doesn't matter what the predator is, whether it's a pack of wolves, whether it's a pride of lions, whether it's a pod of whales, it does not matter, or killer whales, I should say. Whenever they are hunting prey, and it's a large group of prey, a flock, or, what is it, school of fish, and whatever the case may be, well, I done went all the way down there, right? Whatever the case may be, what the hunters do, right, is they separate separate one animal from the pack, because they know it's much easier to take down one than trying to take down a whole pack of animals, whatever the hell it is they're hunting. If you notice, Jason did the same thing. Kira came on the scene, and obviously all the men are now like, oh, okay, what's happening, Ma? But what he did was, hey, let me holler at you. And he pulled her aside. I think in the very first season, we saw a couple dudes do that. But along the line, you've seen men do that because, one, it's easier for you to one-on-one interact with somebody without all of the excess, the noise, because you're easily distracted. Either you're distracted with someone or she's distracted or vice versa. So what we see my man Jason did, and he did it masterfully, by the way, he took her arm or, led her away, and then they were able to, converse one-on-one away from the noise of the group.
H-Town represent, baby. Yeah. Turns out Atlanta is not the only city with relationship problems. No, I thought my city would have figured this out, but here we are.
Lord knows, dating in 2021, 2020, just the modern era of dating. I don't care what city you're in, whether it's in Atlanta, like where I live, or in Houston, where the show is set. It's crazy. And it seems, based on everything that I've seen so far, even though we're just watching basically the second episode, but the first one where all the couples are together, it seems from what I'm observing, I see why dating is so screwed up nowadays. Because it's like the men don't lead, the women don't know what the hell it is they want. It looks like they want one thing. To be clear, they say they want one thing, but when it's presented in front of them, they go a whole different route and then wonder why they're. And the dudes ain't coming correct either. This is just some garbage when it comes to dating. God, dog. Oof.
For the first time in Ready to Love history,
Wow.
I decided to give this brother a second chance. Chris!
Hey, Chris.
So, Tommy said there were going to be some curveballs this season, and the first one that we see is my man Chris is back on the show. He was kind of given a raw deal last season with, with Naya. We know the whole, oh my God, that chick there. But anyway, I'm glad that he's back. I'm glad that he has a second chance. I hope that from everything that we saw last season, he's a solid dude. He seems to be a good dude, and it looks like he is ready to love. I'm not a big fan of backtracking, but if it works in his favor, hey, it's all to the good.
Jason happened to be my son's basketball coach. So I cannot believe he's here, and I was really excited and probably a little bit too giddy because here was my chance to let him know that I had been eyeing him for a minute.
If he had been interested in her, I think he would have found a way to pursue her. Now, I get it. A lot of times, especially, for me, like in my profession, I'm not that, hey, Ma, what's going on? You want to keep it professional. You want to be classy. I get it. So I'm not, saying that the dude is just trying to holler at every single mother that, brings their son to his basketball camp or coach or whatever the hell it is. I get it. But what I am saying is if there had been an interest, if there was something that made him say, oh, okay, I see you, I see her, he would have, tested the waters. That's what dudes do. We hunt. It's like, hey, what's going on? Your son this. And based on the conversation, something may or may not have come up from there. But at least he would have tried. So if all the time that she brought her son, he didn't try, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I liked you when I first saw you in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
I always used to be like, dang, I look a hot mess. I'm not living up to my brand name. He probably doesn't even find me attractive. You know what I'm saying? You haven't seen me this fly.
No, I haven't.
You haven't. They call me Alexis Fly because of my style.
So his reaction to her saying all that initially was, oh, wow. And then when she said, I found you attractive, he didn't reaffirm it and be like, hey, I found you're attractive too, whatever. So it doesn't matter how much they think that she's fly, this, and a third. If the man that's in front of you, right, the man whose attention you're trying to get, whatever, doesn't find you attractive or doesn't look at you that way, then it doesn't really matter because that's who you are trying to get to look at you. And obviously up to this point, for whatever reason, he hadn't seen her. Now I get it. Like I said, it could just be because, when he's on his job being the coach, he's being that person. But after the game, there's a way you can talk to somebody. And dudes, when we're interested in somebody, we'll crack a joke, we'll do whatever just to test the waters to see if the attention is reciprocated, whatever. And at this point, and based on the body language and the things that he's saying right there in the moment, think about it, it's just them two together, it's one-on-one. So if he's not saying those things right there, I don't think the interest is really as serious as he's making it out to be.
Anytime I'm walking into a place, it's like all the men look at me, they stare. I'm like, I know I'm looking good. I know I'm fine. I'm out here trying to catch something, you know, throw out my line, reel it in, but I can't reel in nothing because nobody want to talk to me.
So y'all can see behind me, I'm here in the Maldives, right? And we've seen quite a few, what do they call them, black tip reef sharks. Now these sharks are all over the place. They're just swimming there. In fact, take a look at this video right here.
You just ain't gonna get out the water? And you was worried about me drinking water through a hose? You ain't gonna get out the water? Okay. Yeah, that's a real shark. Minding his business. Can't hear you.
So these sharks, they're swimming through schools of fish, right? The stuff that they literally eat. These sharks eat these fish, and these fish know that, yeah, I'm here to be eaten. But if the shark doesn't feel like eating, if the shark is not in a mood to do whatever, because the thing about a shark is if it stops swimming, it's going to sink. So the shark is continuously swimming, which initially, really and truly, the shark is continuously hunting. If he feels like eating, it's time to go. What doesn't happen is these small little fish don't just jump in the shark's mouth, be like, hey, I'm here, eat me, eat me. No, the shark goes at, when it's ready to go after what it's ready to go after, God damn it, it's gonna go after it. It's got nothing to do with what the prey fish are doing or what they're thinking or how no. It's up to the shark to go get what he wants. It doesn't matter how delicious the fish are. If the shark doesn't want it, the shark don't want it. But when the shark wants it, yeah, it's gonna go get it.
My name is Ida, but growing up, I like to be called Vicky because there was a show called Small Wonder, and there was a robot on there. Her name was Vicky, and I was just obsessed with her. You give me more than gay vibes. Do you get that a lot? No, I want to let you know that. So to this day, my grandmother still calls me Vicky. I don't even know if she knows my real name.
Yo, Ida's a fool with it, man. Did she just walk by this dude? You know, and keep in mind, he was the one that said, yeah, you know, when women see me, they think, oh, you a manly man. She just walked by this dude and said, you know what, you giving me gay vibes. And they just kept it moving. This season's gonna be hilarious. I like her. I want to see how far she goes, but man, she just says whatever. I like her.
I'm an alpha woman. You know, I'm more logical than emotional. And men are used to women expressing themselves in an emotional way. And if I don't express myself in that way, they feel like I'm not interested or I don't care about them. So I need that confidence. I need a man that's sure about himself.
All right, got a couple of questions here. The first is, what the hell is an alpha woman? And number two is, what the hell was she typing? Did y'all see her? Anyway, I get it. Just because, you know, you are more analytical, more logical than emotion, that's fine. But that doesn't make you an alpha woman. And quite honestly, that's nature once again. Yes, there's sometimes where where women or the female does lead, and it's rare. So if you're going into a dating situation and you're coming in as an alpha female, I hate to say it, but the sad reality is you coming in at a disadvantage, and it's not necessarily going to work out in her favor. I hope it does, but just based on what we've seen from her and her personality, and it's got nothing to do with her damn job. It's got nothing to do with the men being intimidated. Once again, a lot of women that we've seen on this show, they say it's their job and men are intimidated, but when it all comes down and when you boil it all down, it's their personality.
So what is your flaw in the relationship?
Mean girls.
No, your flaw.
Mean girls.
No. First impressions are everything. I mean, the guys are coming full throttle, and then you look at Khalil, I get it. He's like, this is me. But I'm like, no.
Again, what is this mean girls thing that this dude keeps talking about? But let's move on past that. If you notice, he was as they were quote unquote, interacting, whatever that conversation was, she slipped into attorney mode where she was questioning the witness. Then she even rephrased the question. That may work on your job, but if you're in a dating environment, and I get it, she wasn't interested in the dude, he didn't spark her any type of connection or whatever. However, if other men are watching that, okay, if you notice all of these people in a mixer, it's a party, people are always moving around, mingling, so they see how you are interacting and people pick up on the vibe. So that's what people see, and that's the energy that she's putting out. So I don't know how it's gonna go moving forward, because if people see like, oh, okay, damn, that's how she's talking to dude, who's gonna want to approach that? You can blame old boy for how he is and his lack of social skills, fine. However, at the same time, if you notice how she approached it as well, it was definitely aggressive. It was definitely relenting or relentless as far as she wanted that answer and how she was coming at him. I don't think no dude there, or at least those guys that we've seen, necessarily want that particular character trait in the women that they're looking for.
Were you were you nervous today?
No.
I couldn't go to sleep.
You couldn't?
Nope.
Christian is a sweet little chocolate little cup, but he is very timid. We need our strong man, right? We need you to lead.
I didn't really touch on Christian too much last week. One thing I will say is that the format of this show, the format of Ready to Love, where it's more competition than it is really getting to know people and then moving forward with serious and solid relationships, I don't think that that's necessarily the best format for people like Christian, for people like Khalid, I think it is his name, because it's not necessarily about the physical, them garnering that. Those are the kind of guys, they're socially awkward. I mean, Christian is not the most gregarious. He's not the most engaging. So obviously he doesn't stand out and be like, hey, what's popping? He's not that dude. However, I'm sure he's a good catch, once someone was to get to know him. I just think that based on the format of the show, he's not going to have that opportunity, because honestly, he's not going to have that much time for people to really get to know him.
Christian does come across as a really sweet guy, but my desire to see him flourish did kind of come from like, oh, that's my homie, that's my brother, like let me look out for him, and not from a intimate space of us getting together.
Yeah, go fishing,
Dude was just put in a no-win situation that I don't think many dudes, especially guys that are lacking in social skills like he was, could have recovered from. Think about it. He was called over by two of the more attractive women in the of the tent. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking the other ladies for not for them not being attractive, but he was called over by those two and he was basically sat down. Now, when he sat down, three of the men also came and sat down and flanked him. I think it was Troy, Diedrich, and what's the other cat? Joel. They came and sat down next to him. So no matter what he said, especially after old girl was like, yeah, we don't think you're the most outgoing, whatever, she's basically just slapping the dude down in front of this group. So there was a total of 5 people, so plus him 6. After that, there's really no recovery for him, because the men are going to look at him as less than, and the women are, gonna, when they talk, they're going to look at him as lacking. So there's really nothing that's going to come from any moving forward with him. At this point, his journey's ultimately done. Even if he doesn't make it through this episode, I don't see him going much further than that.
Yeah, go fishing, y'all got me on the spot. I took notes and tried to be more assertive, but I feel like it was too late. I think they had already made up their mind.
You got kids?
No, that's it. I don't have any kids, no. I want one more. Just one more.
You don't have none.
No, one kid, excuse me.
The sad reality is that, yeah, they had already made up their minds, so his journey, like I said, is essentially over. But hey, I'm ready to love. It's been 17 years since I've been in a relationship, and I just, I can't seem to find any good man. So I'm going to let that 36-year-old man who's earning about $50,000 a year on his government job, yeah, the one that doesn't have any kids, who seems to, have a halfway decent head on his shoulder, I'm not going to get to know him. But I can't find any good man. But, ooh, he's chocolate with a beard. I'm going to go holler at him, but I ain't worried about that. Okay.
There are some people that I may have gone on a date with before, But
Which one?
AJ.
AJ, okay.
We went on 2 dates, and the second one did not go that well.
Okay.
AJ is the gentleman that was my worst date experience. He definitely has a nickname amongst my friends as El Cheapo.
What are the odds? I mean, I'm sure it can happen, right? You have two people who live in a city with a population of 2.3 million, and the city itself is 637 square miles. Of course, it's going to happen that two people who've been on not one but two dates, one of which ended badly. Yeah, we're going to put them on the show because it just happens. I mean, we just couldn't find enough people to get on this show. We couldn't find 10 women and 10 men who didn't know each other in some way, shape, manner, or form. Yep, I believe it.
Now, why didn't the date go well?
So when I ordered my drink, I put my card down for the tab. I went to the restroom, and I came back. You know how you could just tell it had not been touched at all?
Like it was waiting on you to get back?
Girl, it's not customary for me to pay for a date when I'm getting to know a guy. I don't play chicken when it comes to stuff like that if you are not going to step up.
There are some traditional things that you just can't really get around, all right? If you're taking, as a woman, if a man's taking you out, you expect him to pay. And as a man, if you're taking a woman out, you expect to pay. So if you're going to be taking anybody out on a date, I'm talking to my fellas, you check your bank account. You make sure that, hey, okay, if I'm taking her out to a restaurant, it's going to be about $20, $30 a plate. I've got enough to pay for it. If not, then you might want to adjust and go somewhere and say, hey, let's go to Waffle House. It doesn't matter. You do what you have to do. But if you don't have the money, then you don't go on a date. If you can't afford it, don't do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, looks like we are off to a good start.
Yes.
Unfortunately, time has come
No.
for our first difficult decision.
Jesus.
One of these handsome gentlemen has to leave this process right here, right now.
So, like the past couple seasons, this is how they normally do it. At the first mixer or whatever, somebody's is going home. So we're up to the first elimination, and one of the fellas are getting sent home.
After speaking with all the ladies, the gentleman that just isn't ready to love is Khalil.
What?
Khalil, we want to thank you for being brave enough to enter into this process. Everyone wishes you the best of luck on finding love.
So Khalil's journey has ended before it even got started. My man got sent home on day one. Not surprising because obviously he didn't make any real connections, and he didn't. All of his interactions with the ladies, none of them were good. So not surprising, his journey has come to an end.
Oh man, that's me. That's me.
What I learned about myself in this process is to put myself out there.
All right, my man.
I am still on the journey of trying to find love. I definitely will continue doing that until, I guess, the day I die.
He's able to refine that and there are options that come to him because it's difficult and it's easier said than done dating in 2021, just modern dating as a whole. But like I said, I wish to do the best.
The kiss on the cheek. It's my signature move. When the lips go on the face and they put the big smile on, you know exactly where you are.
Would you like to travel?
I love to travel.
You think they'll let us go on a trip?
I'm down. I
For
would
you?
love to do that.
Was it 2.3 million people in Houston? Anyway, I get that, it's reality TV. It's here to entertain us, and some of the characters and some of the contestants, whatever you want to call them, they're here to get us going. There's some that we just viscerally just don't like. It's like, who the hell are these people and where they get them from? And there are others that you instantly gravitate towards. Anyway, let me keep it on track. My man, he's always talking about going on a trip. He said that 3 times so far this episode. I see why he's a 51-year-old bachelor. I'm going to give him some grace. I'm going to see how the show develops, but something tells me it's not going to go very well.
I was looking for red flags in the mixer, and there was one woman that stood out quickly.
You can't just be like, well, I'm just gonna make a reservation. It depends,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll make a reservation 3 months in advance. It depends,
Man, she can talk.
She's got a weird sense of humor. But I like her. She's very personable. I want to see how far she goes on the show, and I want to see what kind of connections that she makes with the men. But that is she's a strange one, man. Strange.
I was still holding a bit of a grudge against AJ for my worst date. So to finally have this moment where we could talk about it, I want to beat him up a little bit for it. I'm not gonna lie. When I reached out to you afterwards and expressed how I felt about it, your perspective was I needed to change my traditions or something like that.
All right, so let's break this interaction down. They went on not one, but 2 dates. On the second date, it ended the way that it did, all right? But she reached out to him. And in doing so, he made the comment that you need to change your traditions. So, y'all, this is really starting to smell like some bullshit.
All right, so let me come clean on a partial portion of that story that I realize now that you didn't know. I don't know what it was that took place. The car that I had with me, that boy was out the game.
If they talked prior, and what's her name, Kyra, just said that, she reached out to him. So if they talked prior, why didn't he say all of this then? Why is he talking about, well, it seems like there's a part of it that you may not have been. Of course he ain't privy to it if he didn't tell her. So if he didn't tell her what was going on with his bank account then, and instead she said, she said, oh my God. Anyway, if she's saying that, yo, when I did reach out to you before, you're like, you need to change your traditions. So it seems to me like when she did call him and be like, hey, what's going on? Why did you do this? Instead of him saying, you know what, man, this is what happened. I my bank account, whatever. He didn't say any of those things. What he did say was try to double down and be like, well, it's all right that women should pay. This is some garbage and some serious red flags.
The most disaster date was kind of embarrassing on my end because she had a tab open. While she's in the bathroom, I try to pay for it with this card. They let me know, no, your card has been declined. So I was just like, this shouldn't be that big of a deal. I'll just let her pay for it. And it was.
Like I said, it shouldn't be a big deal for her to pay. It probably wouldn't have been a big deal for her to pay if that was the expectation that, hey, my funds are a little tight. I'm gonna need for you to cover this one. If he had said that, who knows? She may very well have paid. However, it seems like this is some BS on his part, and he still hasn't taken accountability for it completely. Did he say that, yeah, it shouldn't happen? But he still, in a way, turned it around and made it her fault that it should have been okay for her to pay if there was a problem.
And then your response thereafter was very snappy.
It was, because I was trying to smooth it out, and there was no smoothing to be had.
We all make mistakes. I'm not gonna chop your head off over something minor like that, but if you lie about something and then try to make me the bad guy, that's gonna be a problem.
Am I missing something? It was not minor. It was very much a major red flag. Yo, he did lie because instead of him being upfront and honest about the card, he instead made you pay for the date. Did he explain to her that, yo, this is what's going on with my card? No, he didn't. In fact, he did make her out to be the bad guy by saying that, yo, you need to change your traditions and it shouldn't have been a big deal for you to pay the check. What the hell am I missing? This right here is exactly why dating in 2021, just this modern era of dating, is all jacked up. Fellas, we need to do better, and ladies, y'all need to demand better. Man, I'm glad I ain't got no hair, because after listening to all that, I'd have pulled it the hell out. Jesus.
I said that I'm here, ready for love. You said that you're here for the same thing. So I'm hoping that you pursue that differently.
No fumbles this way. I'm glad I got an opportunity to at least let her know what happened. And I'm looking forward to make it up to Kyra for the missteps that I've had in the past.
Cheers to second chances.
Man, look, all right.
And this right here is exactly why I do not believe in backtracking. If you run into somebody and y'all go on a date and it ends badly, there's a reason for that. If you're with somebody and the relationship ends badly, there's a reason for that. And unless you honestly dig deep and hold the other person accountable as to why you were wronged or why you wronged them, then you moving forward just like, it's all good. No. The reason why y'all aren't together, the reason why it didn't work out in the first place, those reasons are still there. And if you haven't addressed it, you're just sugarcoating it, and the same damn thing is going to happen again. But this time what you've done is you've told the other person that, hey, your bad behavior is okay because you've got a beard and you're chocolate and blah, blah, blah. but you're going to end up getting hurt because that person hasn't changed. You've just allowed their bad behavior to go forward, and you've excused it. You've allowed it. Nothing good is going to come from that.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it's like marriage. And I don't know, I guess in your situation, I'd probably be like.
Like what?
Even though it might be your passion, I think it's be a tradition. We don't need that fight.
So wait,
we don't need that fight to
so
check that bag.
You would want me to stay home?
So that's a weird conversation to be having on what is essentially, well, I wouldn't call it a first date, but it is their first time meeting. However, it is a conversation that has to be had. And I appreciate him putting it on the table, albeit very clumsily. Dear God, bro, if you're going to say it with your chest, be like, hey, this ain't what I'm feeling, your job and, your age having kids. I get what he's saying, but damn, he could have did that a little bit better.
Ronald didn't think that I could be a career woman and raise children. That completely just turned me off, honestly. And I pretty much clocked out of that conversation as soon as he said that.
All right, wait a minute. She is the one that said this.
I'm almost 40 and, my fertility clock is ticking.
This is what really confuses me about people who, they say they want something. They say, I'm ready to love this, that, and the third, but do they really, really know what it is that they want and the realities of, what is expected, what's going to happen? If you're almost 40 and she's like, it makes no sense. So if you want to have kids, it's going to be damn near, it's not impossible. I guess women have done it, but think about how difficult it's going to be for you to be the career woman in her field as a flight attendant, but still raising kids. Who's going to raise the kids? Who's going to be there for them as they grow up? Who's going to do all this, especially when she has said how difficult it is just to meet a man because of how unstable her job is, meaning she's not in one place for any long period of time. You can't even meet a man to find a husband, a mate, but you're now getting offended because he's like, yeah, your job is not going to be conducive to raising kids. Make it make sense.
Do you think that would be temporary? Like maybe those good developmental years?
A kid ain't really temporary. You're not gonna be able to change anybody. You're not gonna be able to make a modern girl traditional. So, Andrea, we just couldn't connect. I tried.
I need to catch him.
The developmental years? So what, you gonna bounce as soon as the kid starts walking, you gonna be 41, 42? Think about it. Oh boy, he's 40, she's 38. I doubt, even if they were to link up, she ain't gonna be having a kid next year, hopefully, all right? So she's 30, 39, 40, whatever, when she does have a child. I get it. It's a tough conversation to have with somebody that you literally just met. However, honestly, based on this, I think Ron dodged a bullet with that one.
I need to talk to you and see what you want. I gotta see what you like. I feel good right now. I'm feeling confident.
I'm gonna go get some water. Would you like something?
Yeah, I'll take some water. Oh, no, let me get that for you. Because, that's what the man's supposed to do.
What you say? You
I'm trying to learn, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, he was put in a bad situation, honestly, a no-win situation right there. Think about it. She offered to get him the drink, right? Or to get both of them some water, whatever. However, he instead said, no, let me go get them instead. What he did in doing that was he shifted the power dynamic in her favor. If he had been like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, why don't you go get us some drinks? That's a great idea, whatever. I'll be right here waiting on you. If she didn't return, that would have said something about her personality, or it would have given him the opportunity to go get her. Anything would have happened, but the power at that point would have been in his hand, all right? But because he deferred and the deferential that he showed her, well, let me go get it for you, it was game over. Now, don't get me wrong. Old girl wanted to leave anyway. She didn't want no part of that conversation. I don't know why she was playing with him the way she was. But at the end of the day, the way he handled it, not good, because he put all of the control, all of the power in her hands, and therefore he had none himself, and he ended up looking like an ass.
The time has come for our final decision of the night. But things not gonna end the way you think.
See, here we go.
I know you're all expecting me to announce which woman will be going home tonight.
Right.
But actually, we're sending home another man.
Oh.
So Tommy threw another curveball at us. Usually in the mixer episodes, you know, the first, if not the second episode of the season, one guy gets sent home, one of the ladies gets sent home. But this time, 2 dudes got sent home. So this is interesting.
So after speaking with all of the women, the gentleman that just isn't ready to love is Christian.
It felt like somebody had punched me right in the stomach. I wasn't expecting to leave today.
Well, unsurprisingly, Christian's journey has come to an end. I mean, we saw that coming. My man, he just, honestly, I think that if they had done the show how they normally did, where one of the ladies got sent home, I think he may have had a better shot of staying, because then hopefully, you know, he would have been able to maybe warm up, relax a little bit, and who knows, you know, at least some more of his personality may have come out. The ladies would have gotten to know him a little better. But that's just the format of the show. Deuces, he's gone, so now it's a wrap.
I told y'all, we're not here to play games. If you're not gonna put yourself out there, your journey will end quick. Every week, the power to eliminate will shift back and forth between the men and the women. And remember, the curveball, they don't end here.
Well, Tommy did say he was throwing some curveballs, and it looks like 2 of the dudes have struck out. So Khalil, his journey has come to an end, as is Christian's. His journey is over as well. So what that leaves us with is 10 ladies and 8 men. So this season is definitely off to a different start. I'll be honest with you, I'm not necessarily feeling some of the people on this show, but it's entertaining and I want to see how it goes. As y'all can see, as I mentioned before, I am on my honeymoon in the Maldives. We got another stop from here, but like I promised y'all, I'm gonna do these reviews, and damn it, I don't care. The Wi-Fi here is garbage. Oh my God. But by hook or by crook, I will get the show, and damn it, I'm going to do a review. So I appreciate y'all rocking with me. If you have anything you want to add, hey, leave them in the comments. I love hearing from y'all. And till I see y'all again, y'all have a great one. Stay determined.